All right, here is the new garden this year. It's supposed to be like 97 today, so it's early, but it's already pretty hot. I've put shade cloth up over these 2 rows here, the shade cloth, and it's been up for a week and a half. And I put drip tape in that's been in for 2 weeks, and it's awesome. So we can run in here. This is the first row. This row is west, and so it gets shade about, the shade starts coming in about 3 o'clock. It's like shaded, so we can put, here's lots of lettuce. And each row is supposed to be its own kind for the most part, except for this row somehow got messed up. Here's the spinach that's starting to go, but I've planted, I think it's called Olympia, which is supposed to be the slowest bolting spinach or something. And I've just put in a whole bunch. It's like here, there's a row there, there's a row there. I planted a whole bunch real tight, so we'll see how that works out. Let's see, these little guys are leeks that were interplanted between some other stuff. I've got peas all along the fence line, and since I put the shade cloth up, they've really taken off, and you know, they're starting to flower. I'll have peas pretty quick. This is Salanova, which should be ready to start picking leaves off in about a week or 2. Radishes. I've got lots of basil just everywhere thrown in and out. That's, I don't know, that kind of looks like Thai basil. That looks like normal basil. That's purple basil, you can't really see it. Carrots. The carrots are, I think like every row is a different kind of carrot, so, but I want to say maybe like these 2 are like seed tape that I bought last year. These are parsnips that are really doing well. I'm gonna guess this is our first pea. So, but there's lots of flowers now. Over here is the cabbage row. These are Dutch flatleaf. The back ones I spaced out pretty big. I had some losses. We had a hailstorm, and then right after the hailstorm we had a lot of heat, and it made all of the Napa cabbage bolt. And so I've been throwing in other little brassica seeds to fill spots. These are Red Acre, Savoy. I keep my seed trays in the walkway here, and it works out really well. They do great. This seed tray I just did, and it's already coming up. I mean, just a few days ago. But I planted everything really shallow, like shallow in the soil, because it's under the shade cloth, so I'm not really worried about it cooking. So, like, these are some lettuces, turnips, and beets. You can kind of see the beets because they're red, but yeah, those are going to be coming in soon. Those are to put in the ground after I pull my garlic. Fennel, there's a bunch of fennel over here. It's coming along. This was like the little herb area, so there's tarragon and sage and oregano and lemon thyme and just sort of random stuff. Canary chard is here. It's just not coming up. That there is a herb that I can't remember what it is, so once it gets big enough I'll figure it out. And that one there is sorrel, and that's mustard, and there's a mustard there. And then these are turnips, this little group here. Some extra fennel that I had, I just sort of stuck them in the ground here. This is like rutabaga and kohlrabi, I want to say. And then here's where I put the beets. And on the beets I did a different, every row is its own kind. So there's like 5 or 6 kinds, except for the other day I threw some in where there were blank spots. So these are like golden beets, and they're just sort of sprinkled around like there. There's a couple bulbing onions here that were left over from last year, and they're not bolting yet, so we'll just let them go until they do, I guess. Here are the garlic. The garlic I put in, I want to say early November, and they did all right. The squirrels kept on rooting around in there, so. These are French gray shallots. I put them at the same time as the garlic. And then these are some of these could be bolting on or bulbing onions. Some of them could be very large green onions that were left over from last year, so they are all like bolting, and I'm just using them as I can. And these ones are onion starts that I bought from Walmart, sweet yellow onions, and I grouped them in 3s and put them in together, so they're sort of they're doing pretty good. We'll see how it goes. And then these were green onions from last year that I still have. Some of them, like that's these are red or bunching onions, and then these are the bunching onions I put in this year. And then these are the bell peppers. They're starting to put out some blossoms at least. I got a couple of Pueblo chilies. I put a bunch in, and I think I trimmed them too short whenever I was, because it looks like I'm going to have about 2 there and 1 here. And that's a big gem and a big gem and a leftover okra. And then in this bed back here, that's my zucchini, my straight neck squash. That's a curry squash. I don't know. It's kind of late for that to be that size, but we'll see. Acorn squash. That was, there's a hole there, it's hard to see it. That was pumpkin, and then the dogs dug it up. And then it was pumpkin, and the dogs dug it up. So think about that if you're going to do pumpkin treats for your dogs, is that they might dig up the plants. These are all sunflowers. The back row are regular, the front row are red. Let's see. Here's my row of tomatoes coming in. I said we had a hailstorm, and this right here got pinched up against the bottom row, the bottom rung of the cattle panel, and just took the top off. It took about 2 weeks for it to recover to where it was, so I'm not sure. This is Paul Robeson, which is one of my favorites, and I don't know how much I'll get out of that one. Anyway, I'm not going to go through every tomato variety right now anyway. They're above the height of my knee, halfway up my thigh. And I will show you Purple Boy, which is from what I understand, it's an F1 sort of Cherokee purple. I have one, well, it has one decent tomato. I can't really see it from where I'm at. Anyway, I did put a gold tomato cherry on the end. I tried to put the cherry tomatoes on the end so I could just sort of come in and grab one as soon as I got in the garden. So those are like sweet 100s, and that's the gold. A couple peppers here. One is one's a jalapeno and one's a garden salsa, which I've never tried. So, but I didn't label them, so who knows. Here's the bean row. These are chickpeas. These are Provider. Is that what that? It's the real common variety of bush bean. I put a bunch of lima beans in and they hardly came through. There's a few here and there. These are the fava beans. Here, I've got this up as a temporary shade cloth because it's like 95 all week, so they were looking pretty bad, so they're getting some temporary shade because I don't think fava beans are supposed to be that hot, but they're doing pretty good. Let's see, there's some beans right there coming in. They're little. I've got pole beans all along the back row of this fencing here to climb up. This cattle panel I have running along the back. That's a straight 8 cucumber. More tomatoes. These are the potatoes here. And I wasn't going to do potatoes this year, but I found 3 bags that had been sort of forgotten in the garage, and they were all sprouting, so I thought, well, we'll go ahead and give it a shot again. And so I dug 3 trenches, and this one is like russet. The middle row is red potatoes, and the back row is gold potatoes there. And you know, we'll just see how it works. I have 3 eggplants. These are Thai chilies up in here. These are Romas. I think they'll be alright. I think they'll make it before we get too cold. These are more pole beans that I put in. Serrano pepper. Bush cucumber. Bush cucumber. Bush cucumber. Okay, so apparently my phone got hot. I'll try and do this last a little bit. That is sweet potato that is not doing well there, right there. This is sweet potato that is doing well. This is sprouting broccoli, broccoli rabe, beans. I put some cucumber seeds in the ground, so here they are. I can't remember if I mentioned this stuff. This is Roma. Those are more pole beans, eggplants, cucumbers, and I was saying that back there in that back one with the sunflowers in the back little bed, there's a whole bunch of okra in there also. That's just now coming up. So yeah. I think that's about it. The drip tape is like